The AEW drama continues to get worse. After defeating Jon Moxley to become the new AEW World Champion and MJF making a surprise return, CM Punk made some wild comments at the media scrum press conference. For those of you that didn't see it, here's the clip.
Now, it's 2022. I haven't been friends with this guy since at least 2014, late 2013. And the fact that I have to sit up here because we have irresponsible people who call themselves EVPs and couldn't fucking manage a target, and they spread lies and bullshit and put into a media that I got somebody fired when I have fuck all to do with him, want nothing to do with him, do not care where he works, where he doesn't work, where he eats, where he sleeps. And the fact that I have to get up here and do this in 2022 is fucking embarrassing. And if y'all are at fault, fuck you. If you're not, I apologize. But what did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed fucking dumb fuck like Hangman Adam Page to go out on national television and fucking go into business for himself? For what? What did I do, Dave? What did I ever do? Didn't do a goddamn thing.
That clip was just the tip of the iceberg. After the press conference, CM Punk headed back to his locker room. The Elite confronted him about the comments that he made about them. They were clearly unhappy about the entire situation and getting called out like that. They got in Punk's face, and apparently they got too close because Punk started swinging multiple punches at the Young Bucks, but specifically Nick Jackson. It's unclear how threatening they seemed, but it is heavily reported that CM Punk started the physical aspect of the altercation. What makes things even crazier is that CM Punk's coach/producer, Steele, that was featured on AEW Dynamite last week, got involved, making matters much worse. He reportedly threw a chair in Nick Jackson's face that legitimately knocked him out cold. Steele then pulled Kenny Omega's hair before biting him as well. The fight had to be broken up by multiple people backstage who say it was extremely physical and brutal. The locker room has been heavily divided because of this. There's even legal measures that's going to take place. I'm assuming that the Elite could be attempting to sue Punk for assault, especially considering that a chair to the face could kill someone. It's actually unbelievable how all of this started because of a promo from Hangman Adam Page from a few months ago. When Page cut that promo, I honestly didn't think about it that much. It wasn't a big deal. Most people forgot about it a few days later. I really feel like CM Punk blew it out of proportion. Hangman said something that should have probably been kept backstage, and because of that, I think he should get part of the blame. However, it wasn't anything too crazy or serious that I think should have led to all of this. It was just one line to build up a match for Double or Nothing. It wasn't anything more or anything less. But because of CM Punk's ego and his immaturity, he brought it up when he returned and called out Hangman Adam Page going into business for himself, knowing that Page would not come out to the ring. Again, this wasn't something that should have been said by CM Punk. Punk could have cut that out of his promo and just talked about Moxley, and no one would have batted an eye. People literally forgot about his feud with Hangman. That's the truth. This is pro wrestling. People forget. It only becomes a big deal and a serious problem when you make it a big deal. It should have been dealt with in the back, face to face with Adam Page. Because of that, Punk is also in the wrong. Honestly, he probably gets more of the blame for blowing this thing up out of nowhere. Like I said, it should have never escalated to this degree. After that happened, there were reports that were being leaked out to the internet talking about CM Punk's hate for Colt Cabana. The news broke out saying that he complained about Cabana working there, who was his ex-friend. That relationship between those two got very sour. They were once best friends and it ended up in a lawsuit against each other. It's sad to see, but that is life, I guess. I guess you just, see your friends at the end of the day. The report about Punk wanting him to be fired from AEW along with the Hangman story pretty much vilified CM Punk. Many people turned against him. People posted videos of him all over the internet saying that Triple H was right back in 2011. So his fans became haters. In just a matter of a couple of weeks, CM Punk became one of the most polarizing figures in all Elite Wrestling. And then we fast forward to AEW's pay-per-view a few days ago, All Out. And and that's where CM Punk wins in the main event. He defeats Jon Moxley. He becomes the world champion once again. MJF makes his shocking return, which, by the way, I want to say AEW did a fantastic job with that. From the call with Tony Khan to the loud pop from the audience and attendance, it was pretty much perfect, and that is how you produce a return. Unfortunately, MJF became an afterthought during the media scrum. The craziest thing about this is that no reporter even asked CM Punk about the Colt Cabana drama. Not a single soul questioned him in that room. It was actually CM Punk who started it because he saw a reporter that was friends with Colt Cabana, and then he went on his rants. You see, this could have all been avoided if CM Punk literally just didn't bring it up himself. But he did. Because CM Punk was pissed with the Elite and Hangman Adam Page, he felt like he needed to. Like I said, that is a lack of maturity right there. When he gets upset, he cannot control himself. CM Punk lashes out, and that is a sign of an emotionally undeveloped individual. It leads to unprofessionalism, which is what we witnessed in that clip. CM Punk then went off on Colt Cabana, the reporters, Hangman Adam Page, the EVPs, and was even a little disrespectful to Tony Khan. It was an absolute shit show. However, he did give a glimpse of his perspective. From his side of the story, he says that the EVPs were the ones leaking out these false reports about Colt Cabana. The important part to mention is that CM Punk said all this was bullshit reports. They were not true. He said that he doesn't care or never even cared about Colt Cabana this entire time, implying that the Elite made up those reports. And if that is true, if the EVPs did do that, that is wild. That is just sick. It makes me understand why CM Punk is frustrated with them. That is damaging to his legacy and his rep. I still don't think it's a good idea to blow up in a media scrum that makes you and the entire company look bad, not to mention taking the spotlight away from the ending of All Out. Punk should have worked this out with Tony Khan behind the scenes because that is not acceptable, but it's also not acceptable to blow up. Your EVPs can't spread rumors to make an employee look bad. What kind of nonsense is that? Then again, we don't really know if that is the truth either. It could be CM Punk just making up a story to make himself look better. We really don't know the details because none of the wrestlers involved can talk about it due to the altercation and the legal implications. They aren't allowed to speak about the situation. I've never seen wrestlers in the same company get into a legit fight that leads to the two parties getting legally involved with each other. That is wild. It's the most wild thing I've seen in pro wrestling. And this has all been a terrible look for AEW, and it makes you wonder what is going to happen next. There are rumors from people within AEW that say that multiple suspensions are going to be handed out to everybody involved, and I think Steele is the first person that's going to go. People are also saying the same thing about Punk, that he should be fired, but now that I think of it, now that I know his side and his story, I don't know if that should happen. It all really depends on the reality of this situation. The Elite had this coming if they were really lying about the Colt Cabana reports and leaking those out, knowing that they were fake. So what I think is going to happen is I think the Elite are going to lose their EVP positions. I also see Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and CM Punk all getting suspended for a couple of months, and the AEW World Championship is going to be relinquished, and hopefully they can somehow turn this into a work and make money from it, because at the end of the day, that's all you can do. A lot of people are talking about it. You might as well get your head straight and also make money out of this. Honestly, in the end, everyone is wrong. I feel bad for Tony Khan. This is a lot to deal with, and I wish him the best of luck because things are going to get even uglier.